Mr. President, I am actually trying to ensure that the rest of the panel are available. I know that we have Sergeant A with us, and I also know that Kelvin is trying to join. He seems to be having issues with the link that he has, so I've just sent him this link. So if you just give us some 5 minutes, and we will.
Hello, Tega, so that we don't waste time. Who is the guest speaker? I mean, if the guest speaker is around, you can start introducing the members of the panel. So, and the guest speaker can start. Since Kelvin is a panelist, is one of the panelists, we can start. Then when he arrives, he can join, so that we don't waste unnecessary time, because time is data. Hello, Tega, where are we?
I'm switching my devices. Just 1 second. Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. Sorry, I was using 2 devices at the same time. But once again, good evening, everyone. I'm super excited about this session, and so forgive me if there are any slight lapses in ensuring that this moves smoothly. My name is Tega Agbosa, the president of THSOSA Lagos and your moderator for this evening. What we are about to discuss is something that I know will touch everyone, regardless of your station, because I have constantly been asked every time I try to get new members to join the chapter. If I speak to old classmates, I speak to members of different sets about joining, attending meetings, about being a part of THSOSA, what I get is, what is in it for me? What is my benefit? Why need to join, on the one hand? And then on the other, you have people who say, okay, I will come because you give me an opportunity for networking. But a number of those who have bandied the word networking do not really understand what networking means. For some, networking is simply an opportunity to get a job. For some, an opportunity to meet some of the people that I have not met in a long time. But the reality of what we are, where we are today, requires us to understand the exigencies of the times. And so the topic, the impact of networking in maximizing business opportunity and fast-tracking career growth, is one that is timely, is critical, and we need to know about it. Our speaker is none other than Oghale Akpobome. Now, some of you will already know her and know her very well. She's a TED Talk speaker. She cuts the image, cuts the picture and profile that every one of us should aspire to attain. From the class of 93, she's done everything. She's also one of the members of the THSOSA mentor-mentee scheme. I'm sure that in the course of her delivery, she will talk more about herself, but I'll just ask that we give a warm welcome to Oghale Akpobome.
Welcome, Madam Oghale.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome, Oghale.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Oghale. Nice to
Thank
see
you.
you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Welcome,
You're welcome.
Oghale.
Thanks a lot. Like Tega has said, this is a beautiful topic. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to the committee for selecting this. There's no better time for us to be discussing than now. And I would like us to do it in a very engaging session. The sum of the parts is better than just one person talking. In this house, in this room, I recognize, hello ancestors, my ancestors are here. Who am I to give this talk when people like Zubi and Austin are here? But we will do this together. It will be very easy for me. I will talk on the concepts, and then they will talk about every other thing on the panel. But I'd like us to engage together, to give our ideas, to learn and to grow and to change together and to get the best of what the future has for us. So Austin will be looking at the slides for me. Thank you so much for that. And I'd like to invite your participation. First of all, let me hear from everyone here. One good thing. Tell me, what have you benefited from networking, from collaboration? What one good thing has it done for you in life, in career, and in your business? You can type it on the chat. That's fine. We're going to be looking at the chat. Thank you, Nkem. I see you. Thank you, Collins. Thank you, Soko Alex. Please type on the chat, and let's see, and let's have a conversation. What have you benefited from networking, from collaborating in your business, in your life, in your career? If you found a wife or a husband through networking, that's also fine as well. Let us hear. Okay, so let's see on the chat. What have we got? Networking has brought the world closer. Yes, yes, yes. Builds trust to an extent. Yes, yes. Rapid expansion. Personally, what did you benefit from networking? Okay, growth. Very good. Keeping you focused. Uremi, thank you for that. Zubi, career development and mentorship. And that's awesome. Very good. Referrals, plenty referrals. Thank you, Beatrice. Thank you, Rolly. Referrals for business increased through that. Money in your account, Olive Okarefe. Now that we're networking with you, you will share some with us, right? Spouse. I think I want to hear the spousal story from ENS later. Okay, connections with the IK, career development and AB, thank you. Nora, growth opportunities, better relationships. I think with this, we can even say we're done, because here we have the social proof. Here we have the case, the compelling case. Here we have a reason to say, of course, this is a great idea. Why not? Better relationships and referrals for new opportunities. BC found her husband via networking, business advancement, and mentorship. Please, BC, tell them. So let's go on to the next slide. Thank you so much for your professional ideas, Celestine. Thank you so much for this conversation. Let's keep it going. The world as we know it has changed. It's turned on its head recently. And like someone put it, he said, if 2020 was a baby, the baby was born technologically based on the advancement, the baby was born and the baby became 5 years immediately in 2020. Technological advancement has just sped up 5 times faster than it should on a normal day. So what has happened for you in 2020? With lockdown being the word of the year, who would have thought? What has happened for you? How did it change you? When Gucci started selling luxury items via WhatsApp, when Macy's had to close some stores, where Zoom had exponential growth and fortune just in the first few months of the year and sustained thereafter, where all the giants began to see how they can increase their technological communication, Zoom, following Zoom, Microsoft Teams and Google Meetup and all of that. When a big hotel in Nigeria started doing laundry for the whole of the city, just to avoid going under. How has it changed you and what has happened for you this year? Quite a lot. Virus, the impact, the lockdown, and the global change, and people who were once frequent flyers now becoming some sort of, I don't want to use the word prisoners, but it changed everything. What does that mean for us? On the next slide, you will see what the World Economic Forum called it. They called it the Great Reset. So we find out that we're in a scenario where this is the 4th industrial revolution. Remember what the first one was, where water and steam were used to mechanize production. The 2nd industrial revolution, the mass production using electric power. The 3rd industrial revolution using electronics to automate production. And the 4th industrial revolution, which is happening now, which is the digital revolution. So add the digital revolution, add the pandemic, add the pace of change, add all that's going on with the digital adoption. We see Bitcoin, online learning, robotics, artificial intelligence, telehealth. People are now consulting doctors online, AI, digital twin, digital breadcrumbs, virtual agility, online shopping increasing exponentially, and all that. Social proofing. We are in a totally different age from where we thought we would be. The future has come quicker than we thought. And so in the next slide, you will find out that Einstein was right when he said insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. What does this mean for us? You know, like Eric Hoffer said, in times of great change, the learners will inherit the earth, while the learned will find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that sadly no longer exists. This definitely calls for a paradigm shift in the way we engage, in the way we do things, in the way we work, in the way we carry out our businesses. What does this mean for us in the concept of networking? Let's look at our work and talk about the things that will change in our work. Now, on the next slide, you will see the concern about robotics, ways of working, what has changed and what will change. And like I was talking about artificial intelligence and all that, we also have, this is the time where the millennials are in the workplace. At the moment, we have 50% of the workplace is made up of millennials. By 2030, it's going to be 75% of the workplace. Now, the millennials 2.5 billion people on the planet at the moment. These are the people who are confident, achievement-oriented. They aspire to make a difference. Work is something that they do with purpose and for purpose. These people grew alongside technology, so technological adoption is easier. And hello, if you were born between 1980 and 2000, I'm talking about you. Now add the millennials. These are the people who would rather buy with social proofing. Now add what has happened with the lockdown, working from home, robotics and all that. People are beginning to think that the future of work might be less people, more robots. What do we need to do and how do we position for this future? In the next slide, I have a teaser which I got from www.willrobotstakemyjob.com. And this is as a result of research that was done by Oxford University. And then the results tabulated and put on the website. And just as a teaser, if you check your career, you can do this at any time and find out, hey, what are they saying about this career? What is the future of this career? The 96% that says, hey, you're doomed, that's for clerks. And the 25% is for managers that say, hey, start worrying, something is going to change. And the 1.4% is for marketing managers. Now, this was just a teaser I put here in case you want to check it out and to see where are the trends, what are they saying, what is likely to happen in the future. So we're talking about work and how things will change. So let's talk about business. How are things changing for business at the moment? It's innovate or die, really. We're all part of what has happened. We've all seen what has happened. Even Fortune 500 over the last few years have changed. In 1988, there were more manufacturing, industry, so that's energy, car manufacturers, and finance. But at the moment, they've moved to tech. So you have tech, health. We have finance, and even the retail are all tech enabled. So they can be called tech companies. So things have shifted. Things are changing. And this is not a time to continue doing the same things the same way. I'm coming to the point where we need each other. In a time like this, we cannot work in silos. We cannot be on our own and learn to do things. This is a time of speed and leverage. And so I make the case here for networking. On the next slide, you will see the benefits of networking. Knowledge, ideas, information, opportunity, all these things that you've said, including husbands and wives, expansion of business ideas, and all the benefits, leveraging the successes of others, cutting short your time to market, helping you increase and find more value in your professional life, in your business life, because it's a conglomeration, it has changed. Purpose driving work, and then all the people and the environment and all the applications, and people now get paid in Bitcoin, for instance. With all the change, we cannot sit complacent. There's someone that said that when you are above 40, your network is actually your net worth. When you're above 40, like many here are, your network is your net worth. And so we go through phases in life where we have education and then work, and then leisure. I tell you what, the networks that we make during our early stages in life, where we've not arrived, where we're all young and learning and sincere with each other, these are the ones that actually do last. And that's why I'm excited about what THSOSA presents to us, the opportunity to speak and meet with people who we met at the playground and who today we can do things with them because we absolutely trust them. This is a great opportunity presented by this application, this association, for which we're all grateful, I'm sure. So if we look in the next slide, we will see something about the degrees of separation. 6 degrees of separation between you and anybody on the planet. But guess what? This itself has been turned on its head. There is now less than 6 degrees. With social media, and all the connection and the networking and all that. The opportunities are endless. We will find out in the next slides, looking at what we see on the social email 5 to 7 degrees, Twitter 4 degrees, and even LinkedIn 3 degrees, and it's even less with some other platforms. We just keep getting closer and closer. So what does this mean from a networking perspective? We're all connected. We're all connected and we're getting closer, and we must leverage this connection. So what's networking then? Networking is using personal relationships on the line to increase your exposure to information and opportunity. It's a deliberate process of exchanging resources, support. So I put that the deliberate for mutual benefit, for our relationships, for our businesses. It is building long-term relationships, reputation, credibility over time. In helping, you're helped. In giving, you get. It's give and take, and it's mutual. I'm going to thank Adria for the next slide that he shared with me, and I'm grateful to see that we have this. I saw it in this book, Make Your Contacts Count, as well. But where accidents become acquaintances and associates and actors and advocates and ultimately allies. People that will be there for you, will fight for you, will stand for you, will be there and will win with you. So for further details about this one, we'll ask Mr. President to give us some elaboration on this. But I found this, when he shared this with me, I found this was just spot on. How do we go from strength to strength in our relationships to make sure that they work for us? And in times like this, how can we make sure that we leverage the opportunities presented to us online? Please, if you're not speaking, can you kindly go on mute? Thank you very much. Fantastic. Please go on mute if you're not speaking. Thank you. And so, yeah, so on that slide, please, let's see it, Austin, on that slide. We're looking at online and the endless opportunities that we have online. I know a CEO who does great things and who is so good at what he does, and he's a leader of a big organization, but when it comes to online, the guy has trepidation. How do I speak? How do I communicate? What do I say online? He's almost like a dinosaur. But this is the time I was speaking to him. I said, look, this is the time where we need to make the best of our online communication, online presence, and all the opportunities that it presents to us. Leveraging digital, practice virtual communication. And yes, they will Google you. So who are you online? What are you doing? What are you saying? These digital breadcrumbs and footprints that we leave everywhere, we will face them in the future. And we know stories and stories of people who said things many years ago online and they've had to come and apologize 10 years later. I'm sorry I said this. I'm sorry I had this. Look, they will Google you. Whatever you do now is going to meet you in front. We happen now to be raising children who live online and who are also going to see the consequences of whatever they do online in the future. We need to make sure that we're online deliberately, we're online strategically, and we're online with purpose to ensure that we engage and make the best of it. So improving your virtual presence and communication is all part of it. Interviews now are being done virtually online. So if you don't even know how to, something as simple as setting your background and something as simple as communicating and looking into the camera when you speak, something as simple as engaging virtually. These are skills everyone must be abreast of, because networking is not just face-to-face. Now look at us, we're having an AGM online. So there's another set of decorum and etiquette that we need to know, understand, and learn and leverage to make the best of the experience when we're networking in person and when we're networking offline. On the next slide, we're going to be myth busting. Many people have reasons why they do not like networking. And if you do have some reasons which are not listed here, I'll be grateful if you share them on the chat. And some people saying, oh, it's not for ladies, it's only the guys. Oh, there's no need. I'm a professional. I'm good at my work. Why do I need to network? It's a dirty game. It's brown nosing. Oh, I'm uncomfortable. It's only for extroverts. Are there any reasons why you feel any particular inhibitions? Why you think it may not be necessary to network? Do we have anything in the chat yet? Okay, we're gonna take contributions. Yeah.
Got a quick notes just to say that you have about 7 minutes.
That's fine, okay.
Yes, before I bring in the rest of the big guns.
Not a problem, we're almost there. I think I have 2 more slides after this one. So we're almost there. Yeah, so we can still do the engagements here. Look, is there any reason you think networking might not be a great idea? Let's hear, because we've heard from you at the start. You've told us about the benefits. And what are the inhibitions? So if you can put them in the chat, we will see them. If none, then that's awesome. What should we do then? Oh, it takes too much time. Good one. Thank you, Austin. Okay. What should we do? Focus on learning. Seek and find a higher purpose. Identify and leverage common interests. Give, dive in, and by all means do it. Broadly think about what you can give, not just what you can get. And yes, invest the time that in the future will save you time. Okay? Yes, I'm not made yet. I cannot mix up. Meanwhile, the people, thank you for that, Zubi. The people that are there are looking forward to mixing up with someone like you with your great ideas. Really, what is it? It's addictive. Oh, that's interesting. I haven't heard that one before. The fear of the unknown. Thank you, Busy. But you know what? If you don't do it, and if you don't try, and if you don't jump, you might never know what is on the other side. So I'm going to bring this home now. It's hard making new friends. Thank you so much, Ogochukwu. That's why you are here, and that's why we're here to help you. So let's look at this and let's bring it home, please. I would like us to look in the mirror. THSOSA, what do you see? Look at us from different countries in the world, experiences. Some of us have worked as far as, all the continents, really. We're bringing experience from different industries. We are professionals. We have new people we can help and we can mentor. Do we actually show up strategically, looking for the next opportunity? We all know about the relationship between Steve Jobs and Wozniak and what happened. We all know about the relationship between the Facebook founder now, Zuckerberg, and his partner, I forgot that, Larry Page, and the founders of Google. And we know great relationships and great companies that were built by friends, by people who were friends and started together. THSOSA, what does this opportunity of this association present to us? I'd like us to look at it differently. Do we come here, starting today, looking at ourselves and saying, what is possible? What can happen from here? I once had to do a transfer of some funds between countries recently. And the person who was going to help me was a THS friend. And my husband was saying, how come you are so relaxed and you are not even worried? I said, I'm not worried at all. I know where to find him. And he did everything for me professionally. He was more worried than myself. And at the end of the day, I told my husband, see, I told you, what can we possibly do with each other? The world is out there. The change is upon us. The opportunities are out there. And we are here together at this point. We come with our experiences, with our leverage, with all that we know and the possibilities of all that we can do together. What are we waiting for? These are exciting times, and these are times for us to step out and to stepping in faith. And like you see on the very last slide, it says, hey, join in. What are you waiting for? Let's do it. Let's jump in. Let's dive in. Let's start the conversations. Let's drop any fear of the unknown, and let's just do it. Personally, I'm working on a few things behind the scene. I've just put my website there now as part of the things I'm building to invest in people and to help people move from point A to point B. And where else than to let you know what I'm doing and that content is coming. And if you want to be part of it, you can drop your email address for me on my website. It's my first name.com, oghale.com. And when I have my content developed, some of these things on disruptive thinking, on networking, and things about engaging in the workplace and all the other things I do, communication, project management, I'm going to be building content and putting them out there. And I'm looking forward to sharing with my home base here, THSOSA, and with any other person that's interested as part of my contribution to people development. Thank you so much. I hope I made your time, and we're looking forward. Now, this is the easy part. I'm looking forward to the conversation with the elders, the perspectives that they will bring, and all that we can do together as we collaborate in these strategic times. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Oghale. Thank you. That was seamless. That was brilliant. And I have taken some nuggets from what you said, some of which I will play back and perhaps regurgitate and use going forward. But thank you once again. Now, for everyone else, you know, the usual practice is that when you have a panel, you introduce everybody and you proceed. But at the beginning, as I mentioned, there were certain members of the panel who had not joined in. Now, because of the class of people that I am about to introduce, I felt that I have only enough strength to do it once. We're talking about the pioneer set. I would take a breath and then call them the dinosaurs. But in this particular panel, we're talking about men of timber and caliber. I haven't used that word in a long time. I haven't even heard it in a long time, but I think that it is apt to say so now.
Men of iron and steel.
Without further ado, and in no particular order, every member of this panel is accomplished. They need no introduction, but I will attempt, and please forgive me if I don't do justice to your profile. We have Clement Adiotomre. I don't know if there's any need for me to mention anything further about him and what he has achieved in THSOSA, but I will stick to what he has achieved, some of his achievements in private practice. He has risen from the ranks of Engineer 2 at the Delta State rural planning. I think that's the word. That's the board. To become the general manager. He has given speeches. He has mentored, and he has led in a stellar fashion. Then we have Kelvin Orogun, a serial entrepreneur. Needs no introduction. Some of the payment solutions that you're familiar with is well behind it. And he's here to pass some of the knowledge today. Then we have, last but certainly not the least, Sergeant A, Azubuike Agboifo. Needs no introduction again. He has done everything from intellectual to bravery by serving in the United States Army. He has set up different businesses locally. He has promoted the expansion of some of the major banks that you know about. So we are well packed for today's discussion. So I would just say this, that personally, and forgive me to the other scholars, Bible scholars here, I believe that the first networking event took place in Genesis 32:26, where an angel appeared to Jacob. And Jacob hailed him and said, I will not let you go until you bless me. And he wrestled and wrestled until he got his blessing. So with that in mind, I will turn to Kelvin Orogun. As a serial entrepreneur who deals with, you get involved in all these events daily, people schmooze you, and when you're in this gathering that these people are approaching you because they want something, they are trying to get something, whether it is knowledge, whether it's mentorship, whether it is a job or whatever. What do you look out for? What are the attributes you look out for when you see these people come to you that takes you to the next level? That you say, okay, I will have a conversation with this person beyond this event. Kevin, the floor is yours.
Tega, thank you very much. And thanks to everybody, and thank you for inviting me. And it's a pleasure meeting my old students, and some of them I know already very well, and some I'm probably meeting for the first time. And again, it's my pleasure. So to your question, talking about people you meet on a daily basis. Again, you look at it from probably, I'll take a note from what Oghale said. So first of all, you look at it from the angle of what you want to gain from the relationship. What do you want to get from the relationship? And is this meeting accidental or is it intentional? Did this person plan for the meeting, and how is this person contacting you? So you get people that meet you probably on social media. I have some handles in some social media platforms. So is this meeting, is the person's intention collaborative? Does it want to get anything from you from this meeting, or is coming to you for you to foster an idea together, or is coming to you for mentorship, or is coming to you from business? So first of all, you want to try and dimension what the meeting is about. If it's on general social media and you want to chat, and if you have the time, you go ahead with that. If it's something that the person wants specific and you want to schedule a time to be able to explore it together, you try and specify that time. If it's someone that probably needs some mentorship and some ideas on how you can work together, again, so the point I'm trying to bring here is how you meet is very important, and where you meet people is very important. So for example, if you want to meet somebody on a business that is a bit serious, and you know that the person has a LinkedIn platform and the person has a Facebook platform. So my thinking is that it will make more appropriate if you go to his LinkedIn platform, because the people that come to my LinkedIn, my first, that's why they say first impression matters. So my first impression is that it is business. So I will look at it, I'll put on my business hat, I'll probably want to look at it. If you come to my Facebook, my first instinct is that it's social. So, or you come to my Instagram page, I'll think it's social. So I'll put on a social page. But then if you now move into business, it takes me some time to be able to move from that social that I've seen on Facebook to the business. But if you come to LinkedIn and it is business, so I take it a bit more serious from a business angle. And some of the things that Oghale talked about is about your presence on social media. So if you meet me for the first time, like she said, I will Google you. It's instinctive. So most time, if I've not seen you for some time and you contact me, probably as we are talking, I will just go on another computer. As we are talking on the phone, I'll probably just type your name and just see what comes up, and I'll be reading about you. So that as I'm responding to you, I'll probably have an idea of who I'm talking to, what the person is, what caliber the person is. So these things are very key, and they are very, very important for you to be intentional, how you put yourself out on social media, because people will always come there. What kind of reputation do you build there? How visible are you? So for example, if I go on social media or I go on Google and I Google your name and I can't see anything, it's a red flag for me. So I start being a bit more cautious with what I say and what I need to divulge to you, because I look at it as, why is this person not on anything? So is it intentional that it's not anything, or is it giving me a name that is not what he's saying he is? Probably it's not the same thing. So it gives me like a barrier already. So just like some people will say social media or internet is not such a good thing, at times it can also be a very negative thing, especially if you want to network, you want to reach out to people, you want to get people to talk to, and you want to get people to take you a bit more serious. They want to see that you have some profile online that they can probably look at and be able to understand and probably be able to relate to. Then the other advice I would give again is, people will always reject you. So you could come to me when I'm human, so maybe I'm not in a good mood. I just finished a business transaction, or I'm just finishing a training. It's not the right time for me. I have so many things on my table, and you come to me that time, I might not be in the mood to talk, or I might not be in the mood to chat. I might be, the way I might respond to you, you might probably not know what I'm going through that day. So my day has been very tough and all of that. I might respond to you in a way that you might not like. So rejection is part of life. So you should always understand that some people will reject you, but you must be able to take those rejections as part of it. You must try again. Failing is not an excuse for you not to try. Everybody has failed one way or the other. I've failed in so many things. I've met people. There's a saying I always tell my friend, that if you try and meet somebody on a particular level and it's not being, just 1 second, please. Tega, if you don't mind, this part of the online thing. If you just give me 1 minute, maybe Zubi can take over from here, if you don't mind.
Understood. That's perfectly okay. So while we wait for Kelvin to come back, I would just quickly pass the next question to Clem. Now, Clem, as I've already mentioned, you are a professional, a career professional who has grown, right from the bottom to the top. How has networking been influential in that process? Did you use your networking skills? And I say this, bearing in mind that a good number of the people that are here are employees who obviously have their sights on climbing that ladder. And I know that networking may or may not, and please share your views on this. How has networking been of any impact to you?
Tega and everybody, sorry for that. Kelvin, I'm back. I had to just dash down to pick something. Continue, just to apologize to everybody.
That's fine. And we will touch it somewhere before you went off, and we'll come back to it. But I just want Clem to answer the question I just asked him. Clem, your mic is muted.
Thank you, Tega, for that. I will tell you that networking has been very key to my success in my career. The good thing I would say is THS brought out something in me, quality. I will tell you, it's always very good to bring out the best in you. You don't know where you meet your bosses, or not necessarily your bosses, those who will be close to your bosses. And a discussion might just pop up, and it might be your own topic that they're discussing about, and 1 or 2 recommendations can just fly in for you. Yes, I'll tell you right from the beginning, it was not easy, but I've always found myself in government circles. So my network has always been, let me say 80% of my network has always been within the government circle. And the interesting part of this whole story in my career, where I am today, is that I got a recommendation, not from the government circle, but from another network I belong to. Most of you are aware that I'm a knight in the Catholic Church. And one of my Christian brothers went to Asaba for the Christmas holiday. Then we had done our interview. Very competent persons were, vying for this position. And somebody up there had dinner with him. And in their discussion, he just brought this issue up that he's under pressure to recommend somebody for a job. And there's this Clement, Adiotomre. And the guy said, you know him? He said, yes, he applied for a job. He said, please, whatever he has applied for, recommend him. I know him very well. He's competent, he's good. He never told me this. It's sad this particular fellow I'm talking about passed on this year, early this year. But when he met me about 6 or 7 months after, he called me and said, did you get that thing? I asked, what thing is that? What are you talking about? And he smiled and he said, did you get your position? I said, of course I did. He now laid down the story. So to cut all these stories short is, wherever you are, whatever position you are, if you are at the bottom ladder or middle, please try to bring out that quality in you. Do the best that you have been trained for. Because you meet people, wherever association, it could be your professional association, wherever group you find yourself, just try to be you and sell yourself, because it will count. Probably not when you expect it, but it's good. Networking is not a bad idea. Oghale said we belong to the old school or the old generation. I agree. I'm not the social type that is always on Facebook or on Twitter or that, but we do our own networking behind the door. We don't need wires to do our networking. We communicate one-on-one. So it's very, very key to build relationships. It's very, very good, because tomorrow it will count for you. All right, Tega, I think I should let my good friend, Alex, conclude with his presentation. Then I'll come in again.
Thank you. Thank you, Clem. That was well put. So, Kelvin, do you want to finish the thoughts that you had before I passed on the baton to Zubi? You're mute.
Mute. Okay. I think, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'll be happy for you to pass the button. The last point I was just making is that in life, you will always have rejection, but do not take those rejection as negative as, as most people will take them. Take the positive out of it. Let that rejection be a springboard for you. Let it be a driving force for you. If you can find a way to use it to motivate yourself, try and use it. And some of the things I tell people is that at times you meet people at different levels. And if they're not open to you at that level you've met them, just wait for them in front. You will always meet them again. You will always meet them. The world today is as small as it has ever been. So there's always the opportunity that you will always meet them. And if you keep pushing and keep doing what you're doing and doing it the right way with the right attitude, you will always meet the same circle in front, and you will even get more respect for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I will go on to Zubi now, but before I do that, please, if you have any questions, please send them in the chat if you have a question, you can start by either sending it in the chat or dropping a notification that you have a question that you would like to speak about. Now, Subi, you like to describe yourself as an Afripreneur. So, and I know that you have been involved in a number of projects. So I want us to now shift our focus from, the employee angle to talk about something that I know that you're passionate about, but it's all part of development. And that is alternative capital, the ideology of alternative capital. If you can just share a little about what that means and how you can use or harness networking in driving capital and resource generation. Because as entrepreneurs, we need to know as much as possible about capital and how we can benefit from networking. Please.
Okay, great. Once again, thank you very much. I want to thank the organizers of this this meet for putting great thought into it and also selecting us to to be part of this discourse. Oghale, very great job that you've done. I mean, I can never really stop being proud of you. When I saw you were the keynote speaker, I knew you were going to do justice to the topic. And of course, too, great respect to my Chemo, Sir Adiotomre. I'm still aspiring to develop that to your level of bald head. It will. That's when I know I'll have arrived. And of course, to my main man, La Loco, sorry, Kelvin. I mean, it gives me great honor and privilege to be in a panel with. To get to the question, yeah, the whole idea of alternative capital that I try to push is the idea of looking beyond cash, because most times people want to start up a venture, and the whole idea they have is, oh, I like to do this if only I had money, if only I had 300,000, if only I had 3 million naira, if only I had 300 million naira, I like to do this. So the idea or the ideology of alternative capital is looking beyond capital as cash, but looking at capital as every other resource that you can put together other than cash that can help you, move your ideas to fruition. A good, and networking, like I said, is a very good example of an alternative resource for you to be able to put together what you need to run. Now, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, everything will still boil down to cash one way or the other, but don't put cash first. And I'll give a very good example. Yesterday when we were talking, or I think it was early this morning, we were talking, and I said I was in Nigeria probably about a week or two ago, and we were in a strategy session. And the strategy session was basically how we will move a financial institution that has probably gone comatose, and then revitalize it, restructure it, and bring it back to life. Good example of alternative capital there is, I knew I was coming, I knew that I was going to have these meetings. The first thing I did was I contacted Kelvin, because I know he has an office, and I asked him, I said, hey, do you have like a meeting room that I can use with my team for a strategy session? And he said, yeah, we can put something together. We can do it in my office in Lekki. That is number one. I just used my network with Kelvin. And number two, I just saved myself and the guys that I was going to work with a lot of money, because just think about it. If I was going to get a hotel to do that strategy session and pay for their hall or for their training room or something like that, we'll be talking about nothing less than maybe 1.something million. So that is network, right? I have a network, and who's that network? Kelvin. I know he has something I can use. And then I contacted him, told him what I wanted to do, and he said, yes, fine, we can do that. In fact, it just didn't end there. during the strategy session, he will come in once or twice, look at what we're doing, and throw in his idea. Of course, if I was going to pay for that idea, that's a whole lot of money. So in all these conversations, we have not exchanged money. You know, we just utilized what we had. Now, if I didn't know Kelvin, or if I didn't maintain a network with him, if I didn't maintain a relationship with him, would I be able to use that resource? I would not be able to use that resource. In fact, I would have been saying, oh, you know what? I don't think we might be able to do this because we don't have the money to rent a training room to do this. So that's where the whole idea of using your network, you know, beyond cash to, you know, promote your business and to grow. Another example I'll give within this thing that we're packaging is this. The original managing director of this financial institution used to be a managing director of one of the banks those days, though transitional managing director of the bank. And he also used to be the chairman of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, or the president or something like that. You know, now in course of structuring this particular financial institution or restructuring it, I asked him and I said, sir, I know that you are retired, you want to retire, and you just want to push this to a group of younger people. But can we ask you for one thing? Can you stay on for 1 year as the managing director, CEO of this organization? And this is the reason why I'm asking you to do this. I'm asking you to do this because you have the network, because you have the pedigree, because you have the industrial credibility, right? To be able to move what we are working on. So that by the time we are moving and hitting the streets, we're going with your name. That is another way that we are trying to use network as an alternative resource. Now, let's come down to our level. Our level is the fact that we are all collegial colleagues. Most times, a lot of people, I'm glad that Oghale mentioned things about millennials. I heard the chairman, Clement, say that he's old school. Well, me, I'm still a millennial. I don't know about Clement, you know. But the whole idea of that is that when we come together, we are all on the same platform. There's really, you know, no difference between all of us. And we can harness our relationships as old students of the same great institution, DSE Technical High School. Now, in harnessing these opportunities or harnessing this networking opportunity, how can we use it as an alternative resource? Just like I have said, yeah, Kelvin and I were classmates, Clem and I were classmates, so we can still relate at that our level. But how can we make use of this type of network that we have? The first and foremost thing is we have to understand, just like Oghale defined network, it's a process, the process of developing and using your contacts to increase your business, enhance your knowledge, expand your sphere of influence, or even serve your community. So think about it. It's a process. So it's a continuous thing. It's not just a one-stop thing. Now, for it to be a process, it has to be work. It's not an easy thing. Kelvin tried to put it in a very, very friendly way that you could get rejections, people might not listen to you. That's very true. There are people who I try to contact today that will not even talk to me, basically, you know. But do you give up at that point? No, you do not give up. You continue that process. But the key thing is, if you have to get into that process, you have to be prepared. I know that we say it in Warri. Pardon me, I hope Mr. Bivere is not listening. They say the difference between Kwekere and plantain chips, now packaging, right? So if you want to get into that networking sphere, you have to package yourself well. You have to be prepared. You have to create something that will buzz within a few seconds. Sometimes they call it the elevator pitch. You know, you have to create an elevator pitch, be prepared to talk about what you do or what you want to do. So you find people approach you from time to time and say, hey, bros, I like to do this. So you say, okay, what exactly do you want to do? And then they talk from here to there and the rest of them. By the time they're talking, you have already lost interest. Another good example is people will approach you and the only thing that they feel that they can get out of you by networking is money. And I always joke with it from time to time, but it really, really gets to me sometimes. Someone says hi to you on Facebook out of the blues, from maybe way back, or not even probably knowing the person very well, maybe, but you know that the person attended DX High School, right? Sends you a message on Facebook and you reply very, very friendly, and and then the very next thing is you get a bill. What I mean by get a bill is the first thing that they ask you is for money. I'm not saying that that is a problem. I'm not saying that that is wrong, but I'm just saying that that probably might just be a wrong way to utilize this type of network. You can grow better if you prepare yourself, if you have a goal in mind, if you determine what you want to do and package yourself well, and then approach these people in your network. That is one thing. The other thing that you need to do is to make sure too that you expand your sphere of influence. Join different groups, join different networking groups. For example, here in Washington, DC, I belong to different networking groups. I belong to like a networking group for programmers. I belong to a networking group for electronic medical applications, that is healthcare applications. I belong to a networking group for finance. I belong to a networking group for real estate development. And I belong to PMI, which is the Project Management Institute, because my background is project management. I belong to all those groups. I attend all those meetings, albeit either online or by phone or in person. Sometimes it could just be a drinking meeting and the rest of them, but I can tell you that there's a whole lot that I have gained from there: knowledge, opportunities, and even business, basically. So you need to get yourself out there. You need to put yourself in the place where you will be noticed and you have the opportunity to discuss with people and be prepared for it. So there's just a few final advices that I'll just give in respect of this preparation. And it's what I'll probably call the ethics of networking. That, for example, the first thing is when you are networking, be respectful. You have to be professional. You have to be a giver. Don't go with the mindset of always getting. I'll give you a good example. I got a gig, and I got a gig. One of the gigs I just got to train 350 anesthesiologists in the use of a particular medical record application. How did I get that gig? I was flying, and I started talking with a guy who was sitting next to me. He asked me what I did. I told him it depends on what I do. So many things. I can do anything. But I said, okay, what particularly do you do? I said, okay, right now I'm actually just coming from a meeting where we are implementing a particular electronic medical record application in a hospital in Texas. He said, which hospital? I said, MD Anderson. That's the biggest hospital for cancer, cancer treatment. And I was like, oh, wow, we were actually thinking about implementing something. Would you be able to show me, what you do? I said, okay, fine. Yeah, I can show you what I do. But beyond then, can I come in and have a conversation with you? And I would like to also train at least 3 of your anesthesiologists free of charge, And he was like, wow, train them in what? And I said, first of all, train them in the adoption of electronic medical records. He was like, that would be a good opportunity. And he said, we're not paying you. I said, no, you don't have to pay me. And I went in there and I gave them a 3-hour training on the adoption of electronic medical records, And of course, I used that opportunity to sell what I do. And at the end of the day, by the time we were submitting our response to their request for proposal, I knew that I was going to get that job, that gig, because I had done something for them and they had actually seen what I can do. So eventually it was a very easy thing. That brings us to that principle of a foot in the door. And why I keep saying, don't put money first. The foot in the door principle is,
this is
if you are looking,
this is a very important part of your delivery, but you have 1 minute.
Yes. Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll finish up now. The foot in the door principle is this: where you want to do something, find a way to go and prove yourself. Get your foot in the door and find a way to prove yourself. Don't put money first. Don't put what you will get first. When you give, you'll find that it opens up a lot of doors for you to be able to receive from, different people. Let me just end here, and then if any other thing comes up, I can, take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've just been collating nuggets, which I will share. But please, questions. I have not seen any questions in the chat. But if you have any questions, you can just.
Tega, while we wait for a question, I just want to chip in something, just to take off from what Zubi said. If you look at the people we have, the guest speaker and the panelists, assuming they were not THSOSA members, and we need to hire them to speak on this particular topic, can we estimate how much we'll be spending? That means someone like Zubi will have to fly from the US. Only his flight ticket alone is something else. Hotel accommodation in 4 Points or a hotel is another thing. The Oghale coming all the way from Basra in Iraq. How can we do all those things for a training like this? So we are leveraging on that networking resources that he mentioned, and we're able to use in-house resources. My discussion with Uvo, he was able to link me up with Dr. Coker, and we paid nothing for that, for what he delivered. If Dr. Coker is to deliver that somewhere else, you can imagine the kind of check he will be taking after the lecture. So thank you very much. I appreciate your examples, Azubuike. They were really on point. Thank you, and it has been a fantastic section. Back to moderator.
Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, so I'm happy to see that there's a unison in the appreciation for what has been done. I see that Clem has his hands up. So Clem, please unmute your mic.
Thank you. You see, there's this good question Oghale asks. What does THSOSA presents to us? How can we network ourselves using THSOSA, which is very, very key. You see, like Zubi mentioned, networking with his classmates, Kelvin, to get his presentation done. I think this is what we should really be focusing on. I believe there are so many of us in THSOSA right now who might just be looking for that advantage, someone to push them forward. And I want to encourage them to reach out as much as possible, because it's something that will expand our business circle if we are those entrepreneurs who those who are looking out for that, cutting edge, those who want a career path. I think we should build on this. You see, this Zoom application, I've always seen it, and I have never known that we could use it for meetings. But when COVID came and I was told I was invited to one meeting, and I said, which one is Zoom again? But see, yeah, it's working. So I believe that we should build on this and grow THSOSA, grow our membership. Try to see how we can help them as much as possible, either in business or in their career growth. We should try as much as possible to make an impact. I think that's what I want to just say. Thank you very much, Mr. Tega, or Barrister Tega.
Thank you, Clem.
Tega, let me just.
Tega is fine. Yes, Zubi, please go ahead.
Can I just add to what Clement said? I just hope that Kelvin won't get tired of me calling his name. I've given this example somewhere else. I don't think it's in our forum, but like a lot of people don't know why, you know, Kelvin and I are quite close. But I tell people all the time that my getting to work in a bank is Kelvin. And how did this happen? I was just finishing my NYSE, so proud of myself that I got a job to start lecturing in University of Nigeria. That's in my department, as an assistant lecturer. And I was going home to Warri, and I met Kelvin at Onitsha Park. So that time we didn't have enough money to buy cars then. So we're still using transport. So I met him at Onitsha Park. Of course, he was working in the bank already. But I said, Kelvin, how come you're working in a bank? You read computer science. Believe me, I did not know that you could work in a bank, you know, without reading accounting, banking and finance. Trust me, I never knew that. He said, no, you can work in a bank now. In fact, that he's joining Standard Trust Bank, and that Standard Trust Bank is even looking for people who made 2-1 and all the stuff. You understand? And I said, okay, how do I do this? You know? He now said that there are different branches. Like there's a branch opening up in Warri. I can go talk to them there, or I can go to Lagos and all those stuff, submit my CV. And I think you gave me the name of a HIS or something like that. That was the HR person then. You know, we met at the park, Modo Park. And that's how my banking career started. That's how I knew that Standard Trust was looking for people. But guess what? If I did not have what was required to get that job, right, that whole networking would have been zero, right? All I would have been remembering today is that I met Kelvin at the motor park and he paid my transport, and that Kelvin works in the bank and all this kind of stuff. So these two things are very, very important and very key. Maintaining this network, be open, you know, to the people who you are with, and then be prepared so that when an opportunity comes, you'll be able to utilize that opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Zubi. Austin, I see that you have a question or a comment. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I think it's just a follow-up with what Clement said, that we should really leverage on networking within THSOSA to help each other. This is something that we're already doing, and the TMMS platform is where we are starting that. So today we have a number of graduates from THSOSA, people that left university in the last 5 years, that are being mentored today. And the plan, as the national president said during the plenary, is to expand this project to reach out to more and more people. So there are volunteer mentors in the group, most of the speakers in this AGM so far, and other people that are not speakers. We have today 43 volunteer THSOSA members that are ready to mentor people. So the project is on, we are available to mentor people. We just need people to come out and be prepared. And like Dr. Sri said, when you are being mentored, you should be prepared, because if you are not prepared, it can be frustrating for the mentor if the mentee is not prepared. Just my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Austin. So just to, you know, when Clem said that, made that comment, it ran home. It went home straight, because I'm going to say this about myself. Prior to last year's AGM, I had not had any interaction with Zubi, neither had I had any interaction with Kelvin, but I knew about them. I'd heard about them. Now, in Lagos chapter some years ago, we had this running joke about certain people who you would invite to meetings, and they would say, no, I'm not coming because I've not arrived. And it sounded like a joke, but it was a mental block that prevented a lot of people from actually interacting. Now, if I was not at the AGM last year, I wouldn't have met, but I met Zubi and I met Kelvin at the airport. And I knew that these are resources, with all due respect. But I knew that these are resources, these are relationships that even if you do not need them today, you need to harness, you need to nurture. And we sat down at the airport, they bought me snail, we ate it. I was not thinking about the snail or the taste of the snail, but the opportunities for collaboration in future, and to ensure that, as Zubi said, I have a foot in the door. But at the same time, it's to also make sure that since then we have had interactions, we've had discussions, and I made sure that every time, as Oghale said, whenever we interacted, I showed up strategically. Not to talk about frivolities, not to talk about things that might sound politically incorrect, or just, you need to always realize the importance of that resource. And when you are networking, stay focused. That's just my own nugget, and I'm happy to get more comments. Time is fast spent, but it seems like we're having such a productive session that nobody has complained so far.
Yeah, Tega, thank you very much. Let me just add or re-emphasize something that Zubi said, which is the alternative cash. You know, bring it in home to THSOSA. If we can actually look at that, you know, anything we're doing beyond cash, that's one of the things we take away from this meeting, that would be really, really great. Because people tend to think about cash anytime they're in contact with other people, or anytime they want to meet people, or anytime they want to reach out to their colleagues. They always put that cash thing, like you said, I've not arrived. If I come there now, what do I have to offer? I think most of us have so much to offer beyond the cash needs. Even your ideas and even things you can pitch to people, you know, you don't know where it comes from. So if we can just, you know, look at ourselves beyond the money in our pocket, and look at ourselves beyond the money in the other person's pocket, and look at ourselves as, you know, as colleagues, as people you can talk to, people you can reach out to. Like I said, some people irritate you, but
Please mute your mic if you are not speaking, please. Please mute your mic. Orogun, please mute your mic.
Okay. The baby is trying to network now.
So I think it is very, very important if we look at things beyond that cash aspect, and that will really help us, and that will probably encourage other people to always come out of their shell, to be able to interact more, and to be able to bring their ideas forward. And I think the group that they formed in terms of the mentorship, I think that's very, very good. If other people can, you know, other people can be invited, even people that are here in this panel and those that are not here can be part of those that will mentor other people, to even encourage other ones to come out. Even it's good that we're putting it to people that just finished schools and all that, but we can also expand it to anybody that needs mentorship in different areas of life. It could be spiritual. We have pastors from THS, we have medical doctors, even people that might just want to talk to a medical doctor for something private, or somebody that wants to talk to a banker, or somebody that wants to, I could be a businessman, I'm going into a transaction. A bank is asking me for 15% interest. There could be a banker in the forum that will say, look, my bank, we can do something better for you. I can even help you review the contract you have. I think we have so much resource in this group, in this association, that we can dimension into different kind of subcategories that will probably provide a platform to always help ourselves and help people in-house. And I think it's wonderful that we're interacting like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelvin. Do we have any other? Oghale, any further insights to share? You have given us a super packed presentation, You spoke to the slides, so there are things in the slides that you spoke to, even though the slides just had bullet points. But I would also like to formally request that you grant us permission to share these slides with members of the association who want to have them. Now, it's important that I say this as a lawyer. I know the importance of copyright and getting the right authorization to take information that belongs to someone else.
Thank you. Thank you for asking. Of course, I'm happy to share even much more. We can talk about this later and on how we want to do the sharing. But yeah, it's an honor. Thank you so much. And I'm so grateful that I've also learned from our ancestors and elders on all their contributions. It's an inexhaustive topic, and we haven't even scratched the surface. So thank you so much, and thanks to the elders who selected this as well. It's just refreshing. Personally, I've benefited from the TMMS. It's been so refreshing to be a mentor to someone who's just come out of school and is almost getting out of school and is trying to figure things out, and we're figuring them together. The kind of life you also get from that experience as a mentor, you cannot quantify it. So I'm grateful to all the work that's been done by the leadership of this organization and to everyone who's playing a part. Thanks.
Thank you. I see that Kenneth Itama has his hands up. Kenneth, please unmute your mic and make your contribution.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tega. I really want to commend your effort and the panelists. They've actually done justice to this topic. But just to reinforce what, mine is a contribution, it's a bit to reinforce what has been said by Mr. Lucky and Sergeant A. The most important thing is that you first of all have to package yourself. You know, you must be creative within yourself to actually get the kind of network that you desire. Having an idea is good. Developing the idea and making it sellable is a very vital point, because someone can just come to you and say, oh, I want to open a shopping mall. I want to open such a business, and you have no basic idea. Fine, the mentorship scheme which we have can take care of that. But first of all, the most important thing is whatever approach you want to make to an individual, you must make it sellable. You must, first of all, put yourself in the right perspective. A positive mindset is key. And with all this, we can achieve greater networking, greater participation, and greater result in all that we do. It's not enough to say, I have this idea, oh, I need money to develop it. Nobody's throwing away money. Everybody's working for money. So we must put ourselves together and ensure that things are proper. At the end of the day, we'll get good results. Thank you very much once more. Oghale, thank you so much. Sergeant A, I appreciate you. National ESCO, Clement, and everybody. Kudos and well done, guys. It's a great one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kenneth. I see that George Amadi has a question which I will direct to the national president. You see, the question is that, do we have mentoring sessions with the THS students? Can we get more involved with the school career week? National President, are you there with us? Okay, I think that he may be engaged on something else, and we'll come back to him with that question. I see BC chomping at the bits to say something. BC Olabode, unmute your mic.
Mr. Tega, am I? What I would like to say is thank you to all our elders who have contributed and blessed us from their well of knowledge. We really, really appreciate it. Just to contribute to what everyone has said, it's basically the same thing. So my personal experience is that I have an in-law who's doing her PhD in somewhere in a different continent. And her thesis is around waste management. But recently I spoke with her and she's had to involve machine learning and artificial intelligence. Now, I was shocked and I was like, waiting concern artificial intelligence and machine learning with waste management. But that's just to tell you the direction the world is going in. Like most of us know, they keep saying that in a few years, there will be so many jobs and role descriptions that are not currently in existence. So having these mentorship sessions with the younger people is really going to help, because even for us, in the process of developing yourself and bettering yourself and packaging yourself, there is always something to learn from somebody else who is younger or older. So I just wanted to say that there are so many different areas that we can really bring into these young ones, apart from the stipulated professions that we already know. Tega.
Thank you, BC. I was just trying to get national president back on. He just called me. He's having issues reconnecting. But I see that Tobo is on, the VP. So Tobo, can you answer this question that do we have mentoring sessions with the THS students and whether we can get more involved with the school career week?
I think, good evening, Roswell. Can you just please confirm you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, Tobo, we can hear you. We can hear you. Tobo, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Okay. I suppose we will work towards better connection there. So, do we have any other questions?
Okay, let me just make a comment on that.
Who was speaking?
Yeah, it's Austin.
Okay. So I have National President on the phone. I don't know whether you can hear him. I can hear you, but can everyone else hear him?
No, I'm not sure we can hear.
Sorry?
No, we can't hear.
Okay, they can't hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to respond to the question from George. That
okay, please go on.
So those are the old students, especially those in Warri and environs, right from the leadership of Clement, they've been involved one way or the other with the career week. But as usual, there is significant room for improvement. And for those that graduate, I think for the last 2 to 3 years, on the day of their graduation, there is a session with them where the National Executive of THSOSA has a session with them to tell them about THSOSA and the opportunities out there. So that kind of relationship is in place today. I think it can also be improved upon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I have a question here from Esther. I have a question here from Esther Daniel. And I think this question will be for Oghale. He says, as student entrepreneurs, how do we network? Because sometimes we are restricted.
Thank you for that. And I'm going to use a case study of the lady I'm working with. She's in her penultimate year. She's not yet left school. What she did was to answer the call of the TMMS, and she got assigned to me. However, the algorithm worked. When I Googled her and I found out that we were different, I was like, how did this match happen? But when we began to talk, so first of all, she reached out, took the opportunity of that THSOSA accorded her. She got a mentor. When we started brainstorming, she got ideas, and within the last few weeks, she's kicked off a business and is taking things further. Now there are no limits. Now she has ideas. Now she's thinking about how to move, just because she was able to leverage the opportunity provided to her within this community. She's happy, I'm happy. So please, as a student entrepreneur, stick with THS, stick with other networks. Like you've heard, keep learning, keep relearning, package yourself, be deliberate about it. There's so many people that want to help. You may be surprised, but there's so many people who they've achieved so much. They're at the stage in their life where they just want to give back, and they're looking for people like you who, you know, are serious to position themselves to receive the help that is readily available. So please keep on what you're doing, stick with your network, and keep working hard and expecting that your breakthrough will come soon.
Thank you, Oghale. Thank you for that.
Let me add, can I just add something to that? Okay, Zubi, go.
Okay. Okay. All right. Just to add to what OG just said, Oghale just said, I want to give a good example, and this might be someone that you guys already know in Nigeria. 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when I was MD of UBA Properties, Dr. Anderson Emegbo walked into my office with a young chap. And at that time, I think the guy was either a medical student or pharmacy student, something like that, in Ife. And this guy started talking about a whole lot of ideas and talking about how he wanted to move Guardian, you know, this Tuesday Guardian, how he wanted to move it to an online platform. That is, he wanted to make an online platform that's like Tuesday Guardian, which is like an employment portal, you know. To cut a long story short, I started working with him, mentoring him, you know. I never gave him a kobo, you know, but I mentored him and worked with him. And that's the person who actually built the portal called jobberman.com that I think LinkedIn eventually invested in him. And then I think today he's the one that drives GoCada or something like that. He's one of the owners of GoCada. What am I just trying to say in essence? I knew him through Anderson Emegbo. He was not a DSC Technical High School student, but he came with a very interesting idea, never saw any obstacles, and I worked with him. So if we could do that with who we do not know, why can't we do it with our people here in DSC Technical High School? When you say you're restricted, I don't know what type of restriction it is, but I think if there was any restriction, and I'm sure Pastor George Amadi will agree with me, that yoke of restriction is broken today because we're having a networking discussion, you know, and all you just need to do is basically, you know, try to reach out, and like Odi just gave you the example, reach out, and I'm sure one person, one of us, any one of us, you know, there's so many of us here that can work with you. Thanks.
Kelvin, you wanted to respond?
Yes. Hello, Azubuike. Oh, sorry, Senior Kelvin. Due respect. You go ahead.
No problem. No, I wanted to just say something. When you say student entrepreneur, I wanted to, because I don't know who the person is. What level of student are we talking about? Are we talking a level of student at secondary, university, master's degree, and all of that? So that's very important one. Then the second thing is, as a student entrepreneur, it's very good for you to drive your goal and try to achieve it, but you must not take off your eyes off the ball, which is being a student. You must also focus on that part because it's as important. Because being an entrepreneur probably is a lifetime experience. It's something you have your whole life to do. But at the same time, you also need to match opportunity with resources that you have available. So as much as you are looking to, as a student, as much as you are looking to be involved in the entrepreneurial world and you are driving towards that, you must not take off your eye from the students that you are. You must be able to...
Kevin, just to quickly mention that the person has confirmed that it's student, university student. So she, Esther, is a university student.
No, okay, that's great. So as a university student, so the point here is still the same, that you must still try and finish your school well and come up with a good grade while you are trying to pursue the business on the entrepreneurial ideas that you have while being a student. Because coming out of the school with a good grade is as important. Not everybody will be a Bill Gates that will be a dropout. Not everybody will be a Richard Branson that will be a dropout. The percentage of people dropping out from school and being successful in business is lower than those that finish school and are successful.
Thank you. Okay, so Celestine, you wanted to say something. Oh, he's stepped away from his system. The next question here is from Atariata Evime, saying that for a business that is just kicking off, what is the best advice I will give to a young entrepreneur to boost online business? I'm going to let Kelvin address this, and then I will touch on it just because I also happen to have, beyond being a lawyer, I also happen to run an e-commerce company. And so maybe I might share some information that might be useful. So Kelvin, please go ahead.
Okay, so on a general note, again, a lot of it is business specific, but I'll just talk generally, things that will probably relate to several businesses at the same time. So first of all, as a startup, you are going to have lots of challenges and different areas, you know, from the idea of money, from how you are going to be able to pay for lots of things. But what you must do is the idea with which you started the business, you must not lose focus. So you must, first of all, have a crystal clear focus of what you want to do and how you want to do it. And then you must also put integrity, because at the start of a business, you are going to have several challenges. So you must not compromise on your core values, on what you believe in, because and then you must know that this business is long-term. You must also have that in mind, that look, you are not going to succeed overnight. You are not going to win everything overnight. That is going to be long-term. So there's going to be more planning than work. So you need to put a lot of your effort in your planning skills, in how to use your network, how to, like we said, how to use alternative cash method, where you can call in favors from different networks that you have, from different people, without going all out to ask people for money. And if you are going to ask people for money, let the bank be something that comes to mind. How can you package the business that you have to make it bankable? How can you put structures in place that somebody will see it and will be able to say, look, this business is bankable, I can support it, and all of that. So that's general. But if it's more specific to say what kind of business, how are you going to do the business? Something I tell everybody today, if you are starting a business today and you want to make it big, let it be a business that a phone can support, and you want to make it global. How can you make a business today to be able to run on your phone? A phone is something everybody has. Anything, both today, people pay electricity bill through phone. People control their heating through phone. People control their whole life today revolves through phone. This network we're doing now, this whole call, I'm sure more than half of us today are connected through their mobile phone. Maybe few of us are using the internet they have in the house. So whatever business you are doing today, think about it from, is this business scalable? How can I move this business from this level I want to start it? How can I scale it up? Can I put this business on somebody's phone? Is there an aspect of this business that can sit on a phone? In Nigeria today, we probably have about 180 million phones. That's in terms of phone numbers. People that use phone today are probably more than 150 million. Think about a product that you can have today that can sit on somebody's phone that people will be able to use. So just think about it from scalability, think about it from a planning point, think about it from how you can, use your network that you have to generate alternative cash for the business, and how you can position the business for growth. And not necessarily how much the business is making today, as in, it's important for you to have a business and still be able to feed another while you're thinking of the long run. But think about it from a long-term point of view instead of the money that the business can give to you today.
Well spoken, Kelvin. Just to add something in addition to everything that you've said, which is actually perfect, is for the online business, one commodity that you cannot compromise on is integrity. The average Nigerian is skeptical about doing business online. We have too many sour tales. We have this notion that everybody is a scam artist. And so if you have any sale, if you have any customer, make sure that what you are proposing to sell and what you are offering is exactly what is. Whether it is in your delivery time or it is your payment time, well, in the quality of your product. You cannot compromise on any of those. And you need to, if we keep it within topic, you need to grow your network of suppliers to ensure that you sift through those who are less authentic and less reliable, and keep a group of suppliers that you know that you can go to sleep knowing that they value the currency that is integrity and can make sure that they will be able to sustain your business and grow with you. Because your customers, if one customer is unsatisfied, you lose 10, 20, because word of mouth will go everywhere. And if you have a satisfied customer, again, word of mouth will bring them close to you. So I don't know if that helps you, but yes, that is okay. I think that we will not be able to deal with all. This is really interesting, and I don't know that we will be able to address all the questions. But I see that someone here wants to contribute. Blessing audio. So maybe we should just have you comment, unmute your mic and share your views as we round up this session.
All right, good evening, THSOSA. This is totally amazing knowing that we could all be here on this platform and still be doing AGM. In fact, we're not happy that COVID is here, but I doubt if some of us would have actually been at the actual AGM if it was physical. So this is beautiful. I really want to contribute in respect of this person who is saying, okay, just starting out in business. Now, everything that has been said by Kelvin and Tega, absolutely the truth, but you need to know that something you can do to shorten the learning curve is to find mentors in the area of business that you're going into. I can assure you that whatever it is that you're selecting to build your entrepreneurial journey on, it's not something that just fell from the sky. Someone else is doing it. You can find that person physically, you can find that person online. Begin to model after some things that you're doing that align with your values. And you will find out that some things that would have taken you probably 5 years to learn, you can learn it shorter and save yourself that time, the failures and a lot of the heartaches if you find mentors in the area in which you're planning to grow a business. That's so critical. A lot of people miss it and want to wing everything out by themselves, make all the mistakes, but someone else has gone through that journey. Someone else has gone through that path, and that person can help you avoid the pitfalls and the pitholes you're going to see on that path. So that's my contribution. Find mentors along the line of the business or the entrepreneurial journey you're about to start, or you're just getting started, and you'll find that it's going to help you really go faster than you probably go if you're just going by yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Blessing. That was a fantastic contribution. Wow, we have taken up nearly 2 hours and it just looked like 30 minutes. I would like to say that we should call it a day at this point. I thank our speaker, our guest speaker, Oghale. I thank our ancestors, Kelvin, Clem, Zubi, for the fantastic insights. I don't know about anyone else, but the points that have been here, you know, as much as I have always believed that I know a lot about networking, it's just amazing how much you can get when you open your ears and listen to hear from, you know, others, whether you're seniors, whether you can be your juniors even, but, you know, knowledge is unending. And so I thank you all for the knowledge that you've shared. I thank you for the insights that you've given. I put together a few nuggets. Show up strategically. Rejection should be a springboard. Expand your networking group. Be respectful and try to get your foot in the door. I'm sure some other people have, you know, taken other points, but these ones, you know, stuck in my head, and I'm really grateful to everyone who has shared today. I thank everyone who's been here, who has stayed on until this time. I know how precious time is, but I'm really, really delighted that we took our time and we joined this session. What I would suggest, and I don't know if this was done in the previous session, is that for those who need to get my details, I would share that, and then you can send your questions and I'll pass them. If you have specific questions to any of the panelists or to the guest speaker, let me know and I will pass those messages across to them. So yes, we've come to the end of today's session, and I say thank you and good night.
Thank you, Tega. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tega. Thank you very much. And thanks, everyone.
Amazing job. Ancestors, I greet you.
Well done, Oghale.